What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. It's all about leg training. I'm currently just about to start one of my leg sessions. I thought I'd share with you whether or not squatting is something you should be doing. Do you need to squat to build massive legs?
Now there's no doubt about it, squats are a very effective exercise at building leg size and strength, not to mention the strength you'll gain from your core region as well. But the main question you need to ask yourself is, are squats the right exercise for you to be doing?
My issue with squatting, from my experience over the past decade of squatting, is that I feel it, a lot of the tension which is created by the weight on my lower back and my glutes. I would say it's really down to a combination of me being tight ankles, lack of dorsiflexion, and the fact that I have relatively long legs and a short torso. Okay, so what is happening a lot of the time when I squat, I'm noticing my ass is really pushing backwards just for me to get that depth. So I want to try and get thighs to parallel, and my torso is coming forward. So with all that weight on my back, massively loading up my lower back and my glutes, I'm almost doing a thrusting movement with my hips. Now, is that a bad thing? Well, not necessarily, especially not if you want to build up a bit of core strength, glutes, and a bit of hamstrings. But if I really want to focus on building my quads, for me, squatting like this, flat-footed, isn't going to be the best exercise.
Now back in the day when I had my own studio, there was no leg equipment at all, so I pretty much had no choice but to do different variations of squats. To try and target my quads more, I would do forms of front squatting, heel elevated squatting, whether it be with a barbell or dumbbell. But the problem was that every exercise I was doing, I had no back support. My core was always engaging, so I found that throughout the sessions, it wasn't my legs that were preventing me from moving on to the next exercise, it was the fact that my back was just massively pumped. And I noticed throughout the course of the years that my glutes and my lower back were actually getting, grotesquely large. My quads weren't getting the development that I wanted to see. So even though I was varying up the exercises by, trying to elevate my heels and so on, I really needed machines to help me out and take my quad development further.
And the majority of the time that I have ever injured myself in the past has usually been down to squatting. It's been shoulder related and lower back. Anytime I've had problems with my lower back, it's because I've been squatting too heavy. And my lower back is just giving way at the bottom of the squat.
And I always found this was the case whenever I was cutting and in a calorie deficit, or if I was just tired and not really feeling up to my usual strength on the day. So a lot of the time, if you guys are on a calorie deficit, energy is low, when it comes to doing squatting and trying to keep up with the weight that you usually do, that's when the risk of injury is a lot higher, and you may be better off just doing machines instead.
So now, these days I rarely squat. I'll do it every now and then just to kind of see if I've still got it in me. But now I do substitute exercises. Exercises which are going through a similar motion or movement, but it's going to provide a lot more back support. So this gym in particular, Muscleworks, it's got an awesome selection of machines. You've got a pendlay squat, you've got four different leg presses, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, and you have a hack squat as well.
So by implementing more machine work into my leg training, it allows me to place more of the tension on my quads, because I now have back support, taking the tension away from my glutes and my lower back, and it also allows me to really push them to failure, whereby sometimes when I squat, it's my lower back that's giving way first before my quads give first. And you'll also notice that I'm doing a lot of these pressing movements and squatting movements with no shoes on, and that basically just allows me to be sort of more rooted to the platform that I am pressing on. It allows me to become almost one with the machine.
Sometimes, in my experience, there'll be some machines which just don't suit your body. Take for example here, there's two hack squat machines next to each other, right? I tried both of them. They look very similar, but the angle of the platform is a little bit different. When I do that one, it feels very uncomfortable. I can't quite get the depth. I don't really feel it as much on my quads. Whereas when I do this one, I feel a lot more on my quads and I can get a lot more engagement.
So it's almost very similar to squatting. There's certain people out there that probably aren't going to benefit hugely from squatting, and they're better off doing other exercises. And the same thing goes for certain machines. Not all machines are going to suit everyone the same. And I have known from my experience that some machines just don't hit the spot. They feel awkward, they just don't fit my body, so I just don't do them. It's plain and simple. A few key things to bear in mind if you really want to get massive legs. Focus on applying the tension created by the weight on a particular muscle which you want to do the work, okay? So before I do any exercise, I decide, right, is this going to be glute focused, is this going to be hamstring focused, or is it going to be quad focused? And throughout the entire set, I'm focusing on only using that selected muscle to move the weight. Secondly, if you want bigger legs, you've got to train them more frequently. So me personally, I want big legs, so I train them, or at least I try to train them once every 5 days. And I divide my leg sessions up into a quad focus session and a hamstring focus session. Thirdly, you've got to train with intensity. Training legs is not easy, it's uncomfortable and it's unpleasant, and it's something which you just have to man up and get on with. There's far too many people who I see in the gym who just don't train with sufficient enough intensity to achieve the leg development which they want. And one thing which has really taken my leg development to the next level is having the assistance of a training partner. Don't get me wrong, when I train legs by myself, I can train hard, but once I hit concentric failure, there's not really much more I can do apart from, just drop the weight and do a drop set. If I have a training partner, they're able to take me beyond concentric failure. They can help me to go through the full range of motion and allow me to continue to take the negative portion of the rep. And I'll tell you now, when I've had these sessions with a training partner, and particularly when I've been using machines where it's easy to have a spotter do their job, I have had sore legs for 4 to 5 days afterwards.
So to answer the question, do you need to squat to get massive legs? No, you don't. Okay, there's plenty of other exercises you can do to get big legs. I haven't squatted, or squatted a handful of times in the past year, and it's not affected my leg development whatsoever. But I've been going to gyms with plenty of equipment which allows me to choose a number of different exercises to help me reach my goals and get bigger legs. If you go to a gym with limited equipment, then you're just going to have to squat, but you may have to vary the foot positioning and type of squat which you're doing so you don't injure your spine or cause any kind of unnecessary discomfort. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.